Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
The search is now over for a missing 21-year-old Zanesville woman. Zanesville police say the human remains found this past weekend near Glenford in Perry County are those of Santana Ivy. Ivy has been missing since July. There were numerous searches in Zanesville and surrounding areas for the missing woman.
Identification was made by Dr. Dan Jolly of the Ohio State University Dentistry Department through dental records of Santana Ivy. We do have DNA samples that we are going to continue to have tested, but the dental experts feel strongly enough that they are making the determination that it is Santana.
Detective Rick Roush says the police department is working closely with the Perry County Sheriff's Department and the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation to try and determine the cause of Ivy's death.
Because what you're looking for there is, in case she was stabbed, you might find a bone that shows that it was cut or possibly a bullet wound. You just don't know. Or you may not find anything, unfortunately.
Detective Roush says authorities do suspect foul play.
The news today about Santana Ivy brings to 3 the number of female bodies that have turned up in our area in the past few years. The first case involved Angela Kennedy. She was found dead under a bridge on Perrine Road. Chief Deputy Brian Hoover says Kennedy's death was ruled a homicide. Then in December of 2006, Stephanie Gallus's body was under the same bridge in Perrine Road. Hoover says that death was not ruled a homicide, but rather drugs or exposure to weather conditions. Then the most recent case, of course, Santana Ivy, found this past weekend in Glenford in Perry County. Now, Hoover says a task force is being formed to look for any commonality between the 3 cases. The group will be made up of Hoover of the Muskingum County Sheriff's Office, the Zanesville Police Department, the Perry County Sheriff's Office, and the Bureau of Criminal Investigation and Identification. The group's first meeting is scheduled for tomorrow.
The Zanesville Police Department says it's investigating the suspicious death of a 3-year-old girl. Detective Roush says he's now questioning the child's mother and boyfriend. Roush says officers responded to a mother's 911 call around 11 o'clock Wednesday morning regarding an unresponsive child at a Zanesville home located at 532 Forest Avenue.
The girl did later die, and we are currently investigating that as a very suspicious death. There were a total of 4 people in the home at the time, that being 2 adults, male and female.
The Licking County Coroner's Office is performing an autopsy on the young child.
But we are ruling it right now as a very suspicious death, and we should be able to release more information on this case in the near future.
Detective Roush says another small child in the home was unharmed. Police have not yet released the names of those under investigation.
The former Zanesville police officer accused in a drug scheme appeared in federal court in Columbus this afternoon. Sean Beck pled not guilty in Columbus to all 6 federal charges. Last month, Beck was indicted by a federal grand jury on 2 counts of drug trafficking, 3 counts of possession of a firearm, and 1 count of conspiracy to traffic drugs. On October 1st, Beck was arrested by FBI agents. Former Zanesville police officer Trevor Fusner and former Genesis police officer Chad Mills were also picked up. At first, all were charged with conspiracy to distribute cocaine, and Beck was also charged with extortion. Beck could go to trial next month. Mills and Fusner still face court dates.
In other news, with the November election less than a week away, West Muskingum local schools could see over $500,000 in cuts for the 2008-2009 school year if the earned income tax levy on the November 6th ballot fails. WHIZ's Katie Snodgrass begins a special 5-part series and takes a closer look at the West Muskingum school levy.
The 0.75% income tax levy for 5 years will take 75 cents for every $100 earned, creating $1.5 million annually for 5 years. This levy is different from a traditional levy.
The only thing that is actually taxed is the actual amount that an individual earns, and it will tax the people who are residents of the school district.
West Muskingum local schools currently operate at one of the lowest per pupil expenditures in the county.
We spend $7,356 per child to educate a child. The average in the state of Ohio is about $9,300. We are in the bottom 9% of the school districts in the state of Ohio on what they spend for their kids.